right now. Pitt's sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook.
All right, thanks a lot, Paul, and thank you for tuning into Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook. I'm Rich Walsh, and you can give me a call tonight at 412-575-2600 is the number on the Bordas and Bordas hotline. We're taking your phone calls, anything you want to talk about. The sports world is on pause right now, and we don't really have much sports news to talk about, but we can look back at Steelers players' seasons. The proposed CBA, it happens tonight. 11:59 is the deadline for all the players to approve or not approve of the current proposed CBA that's out there. So you would think that you hear rumblings that it looks like it's going to pass, and then some players are changing their mind, but they can't change their mind once their vote is submitted. I know a lot of the upper tier players, the players that are making a lot of money, they don't like this. I think it will pass. This is my opinion. It will pass because of a lot of the players that don't make, that are in the middle there, that don't make a ton of money. Well, they all make a ton of money, but that make money in the middle or the lower tier guys. They're the guys that this benefits, and they'll be able to make more money, $100,000 more a year, and that's a lot to a lot of these players. So I think it will pass because it just needs just over 50% of the votes. So you have the majority of the players in the NFL aren't those upper tier players like the Ben Roethlisbergers and the J.J. Watts and the Richard Shermans and Watt, Sherman, and a couple of those guys have been outspoken about being against this. Even Marquise Pouncey. But they're the guys that make a ton of money. The guys that don't make a lot of money, the rookies, the guys just coming in the league. This is where this might benefit them to vote yes. So if it passes, it'll be the next 10 years. And we'll find out sometime tomorrow. 11:59 is when the vote has to be in. Tomorrow's a big day in the NFL. Not tomorrow. Well, tomorrow's a big day for the proposed CBA, but also Monday. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Monday is a big day. It could be it's the new league year. Franchise deadlines at 11:59 in the morning before noon. So the Steelers, if they don't come to terms, a long-term deal with Bud Dupree, which I doubt they will. Maybe they will, but I think it's doubtful. They'll need some time, more time to come to some kind of long-term deal is what I would imagine. And so I think they're going to place that franchise tag on him sometime before Monday's deadline. Also, Monday is the first day that teams can talk to unrestricted free agents and see if they're a good fit. The first day that players can sign with other teams would be on the 18th. So some big NFL news is still happening. Everything's kind of on hold, but it's business as usual for the NFL. They've kind of restricted travel for coaches and front office personnel and scouts and potential draftees. They're not doing in-person interviews, but they're still conducting business as usual, and there'll be a lot of business tomorrow and Monday, unless for some reason this gets pushed back. As for the NHL right now, the ECHL, the NHL's minor league, they canceled the season effective immediately. The NHL is still hoping that they can finish the season or play maybe a shortened postseason or something like that. That's coming from Gary Bettman. They expect to finish the season in some way. And they're going over different scenarios and contingency plans every single day. And Gary Bettman talked about how they have meetings a couple times a day dealing with these unanswered questions right now. So we're on a hiatus right now. We're on I would imagine. Here's my outlook on it. The Masters is canceled, so that puts you at April 12th. I don't think you'll see anything start before April 12th. So I would imagine that you might start hearing things by the beginning of April when they might want to start the season. The NBA said, hey, it's 30 days. So that puts you in that April 12th range as well. So I would think that after April 12th, the NHL can kind of figure out what they're going to do. Are they going to finish the regular season? Or are they just going to pick up with the postseason? Or are they going to pick up with the postseason in some kind of shortened version? So I think you're going to see hockey at some point, but it might not be until the end of April, maybe May. And then baseball, they were saying 2 weeks. So that's kind of in that April 12th, April 8th range. So I would imagine, the Masters being canceled, you can kind of see every one of these sports, professional sports league is kind of it seems like that target line is that middle of April. So I would imagine you'd start to see some games being played sometime in April, probably the third or fourth week at some point. So I'd love to hear from you guys tonight, 412-575-2600 on the Bordas and Bordas hotline. We'll be back in a couple minutes, so stay right there.
The Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call is brought to you by Ireland Contracting, putting new roofs on Pittsburgh homes for over 25 years. Call Ireland Contracting at 1-800-NEW-ROOF.